Today on Monkey Life. Root canal work and fillings for Mickey and Busta. Capuchin Debbie shows new arrivals Babe and Amy who's boss. And a sack full of fun for the baby orangutans. This is Monkey World in Dorset. Tucked away deep in the English countryside, it's the largest sanctuary for monkeys and apes on the planet. And this is Dr. Alison Cronin, the primate's best friend. Alison and her team spend their lives rescuing...
I think we are lucky to come when we do.
...and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
Good boy. Here we go.
They currently look after more than 240 monkeys and apes from 15 different species. Alison and the team constantly monitor the health of all the primates, and that includes the state of their teeth. Just like humans, monkeys and apes can suffer from broken and decayed teeth. In the wild, the food chimpanzees and other primates eat is low in sugar and helps clean their teeth. But if something goes wrong, they just have to put up with the pain. At the park, it's a different story. Alison has called in London dental specialist Peter Cortez. Peter's normal practice concentrates on human patients, but he regularly looks after primates and other wild animals.
There are two things that animals can't do. They can't speak.
You notice the other
They've got no choice. You've got to make all the choices. You've got to work fast. You don't want to spread it over a number of appointments. With you, I could do it over 5 appointments. You've got to get it done.
Today, he's going to be working on Mickey and Busta, two chimps rescued from Spanish beach photographers in the 80s, who are also best pals.
We've got Mickey, who's got a canine tooth issue that we need to examine and either repair or whatever, but that's obviously down to Peter and John. And then that's followed by Buster, who's got, he's had teeth fillings that need redoing. Dentist days either go really smoothly and all the teeth just fall out and everything happens, you know, one after another, or the most simple things take forever.
Working with Peter will be the park's vet Mike Nathan and specialist wildlife vet John Lewis. John will have to monitor Mickey and Busta during their treatment.
There's no such thing as 100% safe anaesthetic for you, for me, for a chimp, for an elephant. It doesn't matter. All anaesthetics are toxic drugs. We're just using them in measured amounts to produce the effect we want, but not too much, because they're all poisonous. Every single anaesthetic, including local anaesthesia, has the potential to kill an animal. So it's measured or careful monitored poisoning, really, to achieve unconsciousness, good pain relief and safety for us.
Before they can begin, Mickey has to be weighed.
45.5.
Next, they need to insert a tube so he can breathe throughout the treatment.
You might want to get that head well back to there. That's the easiest way of doing it. You keep that well down and spine. Then it gets easy. If he coughs, don't worry about it.
Peter begins to examine Mickey's mouth. But John isn't happy.
Pretty shallow. We're leaking gas? In there properly. a little bit of wheezing before, which I think is the end of the tube trapping at the bifurcation. You're just a centimetre, maybe two too long in the tube.
Once John's satisfied that Mickey's breathing properly, Peter can continue drilling. Later, the dental checkup reveals more than just fillings.
Are Busta and Mickey 5 or more years older than what we originally thought they were?
Looking after the health of the primates in the park involves not just regular medical and dental checks, but a carefully balanced diet. Many of the smaller primates come to the park after starting life as domestic pets, or being rescued from biomedical laboratories. Often, they've been fed an inappropriate diet. Pets in particular are often given sugary sweets they wouldn't eat in the wild and aren't good for their overall health. But at the park, the primates eat a suitable balanced diet and are often made to work for it in the same way as their wild counterparts. Today, Debbie's group are being given a new challenge.
We're making insect feeders for the capuchins, so we're drilling holes randomly throughout the length of the tube. We'll fill it with grubs and tasty insects and a bit of hay to keep them all in there. That allows the capuchins to stick their little fingers in and pull out the grubs. This is kind of like what they would do in the wild because they're extractive foragers, so they're really good at finding branches and sort of tapping them, working out where the insects are, and then they'll use their fingers and their teeth to get at the bugs inside, and basically trying to replicate that behaviour here.
Debbie is the dominant female of a bunch of capuchin girls who were all rescued from a Chilean laboratory.
There's lots of sort of slightly older, more nervous characters in that group. There's a lot of the younger ones that we get, they can play with anything, they can come up to us, like they're not shy at all, but the older ones, they've lived in captivity for longer, they have less trust of humans and they're just shyer about going up and approaching things. So what we're hoping is that putting stuff like this out, that will encourage them to come and explore and try out new things, hopefully then discover some more of their natural behaviours. Just do it in layers, like bang a bit.
While Robin and Jill fill the tubes with tasty treats and grubs, the capuchins look on with interest.
With these guys here, I mean, they lived in a lab, they were fed all their food straight to them, they never had to work for it. And a lot of them are quite shy and don't really, play with things as much and have lost a bit of their inquisitiveness that they should have.
The tubes are tied to the mesh of the outdoor enclosure, so the capuchins will have to reach inside or use tools to work out how to get to the grubs. The first two to experiment are Kira and Molly. They're high-ranking, young, inquisitive, confident, and also pretty clever.
The thing about capuchins is that because they're really smart, they can kind of work out the easiest way to get to something. So if there's an easier way, they're not going to go to all the effort of, picking out through the holes. And that's unfortunately what happened here. They reached into the end of the tube and managed to pull out chunks of hay and get the grubs out of that. It's been a really nice experiment and they obviously really enjoyed themselves and they got a tasty treat and it's given us more ideas for what we can do with them in the future.
But while Kira and Molly get stuck into the grubs and the rest of the group forage for food, there are two capuchin girls absent. They are the new additions to Debbie's troupe, Babe and Amy, who were recently rescued from Spain where they were kept as pets and had never met other capuchins before. It's taken them a few days to get used to being in the playroom with the rest of the girls, but it's about time they both ventured outside. Keeper Jenny has been monitoring their progress.
We've just left them to make their own way out in their own time. But the other day when we did the release, we actually had Babe following one of our other females out, which was really great to see. So she struck up a lovely friendship there. and that's actually encouraged Babe out for the first time. And Babe was a little bit noticeably stressed being outside for the first time, but after a good sort of 10 minutes she calmed down and yeah, she was looking really comfortable.
But any newcomer to the group needs to understand there's only one dominant female in charge.
Debbie's reaction is quite an interesting one. When Babe first came out, there was a lot of screaming from Debbie and her friends towards Babe, but a lot of it was just sort of talk more than anything else, and it settled down quite quickly. I think she's just a little bit wary of them being newcomers and being quite confident ones at that. But yeah, there was no contact made at all, so we were quite happy.
With her sister Babe outside and feeling confident, Amy eventually left the comfort of the playroom to join her.
We're not really too worried about where they are in the social hierarchy, so long as they strike up a nice relationship with a few other females in there, and then they can become a fully functioning member of the group. And they're both very confident, sparky young animals, and I think they're going to do very well here.
It's a sunny day at the park, and the orangutans are relaxing in their outdoor enclosures. Young male Gordon needs to make the most of it. Life in his group is about to change. One of his females, Xiao Kuai, is pregnant. And he's about to become a dad for the very first time. He's a laid-back sort of chap, so primate carer Penny likes to try and keep him and his family occupied and stimulated. Today, she's got an unusual food for them.
Right, well, we've actually got some elephant garlic, which is a bigger version of garlic, and we're just going to give the orangs a chance to see what they actually do, because a lot of the smaller primates will actually sort of like chew it up, salivate with it, and rub it all over themselves. I'm not completely convinced the orangs are going to do that, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. Come on then, Gordon. Oh, almost.
It's not a natural instinct for an orangutan to try and catch things, but Gordon's having a go.
Come on then, Gordon. Ready? Yeah. Rubbish. I think England are safe in the knowledge that Gordon is not going to become part of the cricket team right now.
Maybe mum-to-be Xiao Kuai will do better.
Xiao Kuai, you ready?
At around 15, she's 3 years older than Gordon.
Not particularly, brilliant.
Sociable youngster Kai, which means triumphant in Chinese, is a bundle of energy. But Gordon and his laid-back ladies are happy to tolerate the youngster's enthusiasm.
Oh!
So close. But then in the wild, Gordon's hand-eye coordination and muscular arms would be used for swinging from tree to tree and picking fruit, rather than playing catch with Penny.
I bet if it was a banana, you'd catch it, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Orangutans spend a long time growing up, so their mums can teach them valuable lessons. In the wild, they need to know where to find the best fruiting trees and other food sources. They don't become totally independent until around 7 years old. The park's Orangutan Nursery is currently home to 4 lively youngsters, looked after by foster mum Ame with the help of the primate care team.
And what we're going to do today is actually put up some Hessian sacks on a bit of hose and replace the old ones. They absolutely loved them, so that's what we're going to try and do today.
Primate carer Penny knows when you're dealing with orangs, whatever age, everything has to be secure.
They sit in them, and the weight of them just means that the whole thing's going to collapse. That will just not help them. It will destroy their confidence. The idea is for them to feel confident enough to actually sit in them and have a good old swinging moment in them. Also, as well, again, a very orangutan thing, if they're little bolts, Arme will work out how to destroy them or maybe even undo them, and then she'll be running right with bolts and nuts and washers. So, again, reason why we use the big stuff.
The sacks will encourage the youngsters to swing and climb like they would in the wild and improve their muscles and dexterity. And with extra breakfast hidden inside, it's fun as well. Xiao Ning, at 6, the oldest of the youngsters, is the first out. She goes straight to investigate. But deftly chooses the easy option menu at ground level. Jolie is 4 and came to Monkey World from Moscow Zoo. She's happy just to hang out. Xiao Ning tries a different approach. 4-year-old Lingo was rejected by her mum at a Paris zoo, which may be why she's never learned table manners. Like Xiao Ning, Dinda is Roro's daughter. Their mum didn't know how to look after them, but Dinda enjoys the company in the nursery, and her laid-back attitude shows even at mealtimes. Lingo was 2 when she came to the park and loves to play. Foster mum Arme keeps a close eye on the youngsters. She wasn't happy with other adult orangutans, so took over the nursery a few years ago. Arme knows you don't have to work too hard to be top banana. While the baby orangs are enjoying themselves, across the park, it's anything but fun for some of the chimps. Alison has called in specialist dentist Peter Cortez to examine their teeth. The primates have to be knocked out for him to give them treatment. Mickey's currently having a filling.
Medical checks and dental checks are sort of critical not only to their health, but it provides us with a lot of knowledge about their background. Almost all of them have been smuggled from the wild, so we weren't aware of exactly when they were born or even what country in Africa they were born into, because the smuggling routes are quite extensive, and animals are moved across vast different distances and around the world. So no, we have very little information about any of the guys when they first come.
Mickey had a root filling done on that canine approximately 10 years ago, as far as I can remember, and it's lasted very well. He's broken the tooth further, so the superficial part of the filling that was sealing the whole tooth had been lost. So we're just cleaning it out. It's not 10 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes.
The team work quickly so they can move on to the next chimp.
He doesn't feel anything, the tooth is dead.
This is the awkward bit.
You got that then, okay?
Yeah.
We got it. That's great, that's great, that's great. I need to go up where you are, otherwise I'll lose that calf.
Right, then you
Can I have a 10mm syringe in this box that we're taking?
With Mickey recovering back at the indoor enclosure, Jeremy collects Buster.
Buster was one of the original groups of chimps into the park, and he's probably a very similar age to Paddy, who was the oldest of that group, and always number 2 to Paddy, and happy to be that. But he'd always got a bit of a misery, a bit of an attitude problem, and not always very happy. And we actually realised it was a tooth issue.
Yeah.
And then
4 teeth at that point, wasn't all 4
which was which is where we came in on this job, and he had 4 teeth that Peter filled, and it transformed his character. He's never been a you know, sort of life and soul of the party, but he was a lot happier after that, a lot less of an Eeyore after that, although he's always been an Eeyore.
Funny old jaw.
While the animals are under the anaesthetic, the team take the opportunity to give them an all-over health check and take blood samples for testing.
You can get a rough idea, perhaps, of their age by looking inside of the mouth and checking the teeth. So are they worn down to the gum line? And if you take that evidence in combination with the rest of their sort of physical attributes, like do they have muscle wastage? Is their skin starting to get a bit wrinkly and saggy? Do they have the appearance of an older individual? And what we're beginning to wonder and notice is that if we underestimated by a few years some of these individuals, and indeed are Busta and Mickey 5 or more years older than what we originally thought they were. And, you know, we'll never truly know the answer to that question, but it looks like probably that might be the case.
Busta's dental checkup and filling go well, and he goes to join Mickey in recovery. But it's all in a day's work for Peter and his assistant, Monica.
I think the most we've done is 6 in one day. 4 primates, a camel, and a poodle.
Next time on Monkey Life, a family reunion for ring-tailed lemur Kaya. And a routine operation for chimp Pip takes a turn for the worse.
Heart rate has just dropped.